agency has also recovered 199.3 million naira from two Nigerian banks, being unremitted value-added tax on transactions processed via the remitter platform between March and October 2015. The House of Representatives says it remains committed to upholding financial discipline and safeguarding public resources in national interest. Meanwhile, in its resolve to ensure that no youth or student is deprived of attaining tertiary education, the federal government, through the Nigerian Student Loan Fund, NEFund, has commenced registration and disbursement of loans to students for the 2024-2025 academic session for institutions which did not benefit from the last disbursement owing non-submission of data of their students in Edo State. The fund has taken its sensitization campaign to some tertiary institutions in that state. Olayinka Ojo reports that the campaign is aimed at enabling more students from the institutions benefit from the initiative and the opportunities it creates.
Founded against the rapid increase in youth demography and the pressing need for skilled professionals, NEFund serves as a sustainable financial resource for students in public tertiary institutions. With inclusivity and affordability at the heart of the initiative, in more than 200 days of its establishment, the fund has so far disbursed more than 138.3 billion naira in institutional and upkeep loans to 800,017 students. For the 2024-2025 academic session, it has successfully enrolled 130 institutions in its student verification system so far. Now, it is time for other institutions who are yet to benefit for inability to submit the data of their students to NEFund to do so.
This institution we are here today is not on our portal, it's not on our list. So they are currently not enjoying this government largesse. I will not leave here until this institution is registered to the portal.
And to kickstart the process of enlistment, this sensitization has the convergence of 3 tertiary institutions with about 6,000 students located in Edo South Senatorial District. Abba Victor is a HND2 Business Administration student of Edo State Polytechnic, Use. He is the first child in a family of 6 to acquire tertiary education.
I didn't know it would come this early, but I'm excited it has actually come.
For the stakeholders in the education sector, it is time to cash in on the opportunities available. And if a student who applied for the loan presents an evidence of successful application, he or she will be able to write the examination without hindrance.
Let's join the train. Let's take advantage of this opportunity.
Spread the gospel around every nooks and cranny in Edo State, that every Edo State citizen have the right to quality education.
With plans for the acquisition of skills, which is the new oil for social economic growth, as part of the initiative, the NEFund team also visited the Benin Technical College to assess their facilities.
What they offer here quite aligns with our proposed skills that we plan to roll out, i.e. catering, automotive, engineering, electrical, quite, just to name a few. So yes, we really are eager, we're excited.
With this initiative, no Nigerian student pursuing academic excellence should have an excuse not to complete tertiary education. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
And now to religious stories. Continued quest for knowledge in Islam is regarded as a core fundamental ingredient for worship and survival in this life and the hereafter. This religious tourism was reiterated during the official launch and public presentation of the book Ethics and Morality in Islam, a compilation of Al-Mustafiya Society Ramadan Tafsir. Abdullah Ajia has more from the review of the book.
Allahu Akbar.
The 229-page book, written in chapters and simple language for effective communication for all human beings, individuals, scholars, academia, students, and society, talks about general life principles in accordance with the dictates of Islamic rulings and guidance. The book reviewer, Professor Lukman Zakaria, says the book, Ethics and Morality, is a unique effort to help in Islamic propagation, good governance, social justice, while addressing contemporary local and national issues such as corruption, moral decadence, among others.
The author has done justice to trace all area of moralities and ethics in Islam and juxtapose it with immorality and unethical things that it is prevailing in our society.
Whatever you need, inshallah, the ready-made answer is there for you. Is what is left to you if is just to make sure that you read it.
The author, who has been consistent with writing, shares the inspiration behind putting ink to paper.
We have a lot of people that are not here to listen to, and many of them are elites who can read and write. Why not put this? Two, I have not, per se, I have not seen an Islamic society where they have their tafsir, that is the plural, compiled into a book. Why not make a lead?
Guests and Islamic scholars encourage the public to read and benefit from the writer's experience, which targets moral and ethical correctness in the society.
He has written so many books, and most of them are targeted at the cause of propagating Islam and humanity. This particular book is so rich because he has tried to compile all the tafsirs that we have been having during Ramadan in one book.
Our children have been carried away by social media saga, taking culture that is not just un-Islamic, but not Nigerian culture. And this book has come to address these issues.
Proceeds from the sale of the book is expected to be used for the building of Al-Mustafiyar Islamic Center in Zuba, in Abuja. Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Istijabat Islamic Foundation recently hosted its annual Ramadan lecture, bringing together renowned Islamic scholars, community leaders, and concerned citizens. This year's event focused on pressing societal issues with a special emphasis on the importance of unity of purpose. Aisha Bashir reports.
Allahu Akbar.
The 229-page book, written in chapters and simple language for effective communication for all human beings, individuals, scholars, academia, students, and society, talks about general life principles in accordance with the dictates of Islamic rulings and guidance. The book reviewer, Professor Lukman Zakaria, says the book, Ethics and Morality, is a unique effort to help in Islamic propagation, good governance, social justice, while addressing contemporary local and national issues such as corruption.
The importance of unity of purpose cannot be overstated, especially for people striving to make progress. As the guest lecturer Sheikh Mustafa Abarire emphasized, unity is the cornerstone of strength for Muslims, enabling them to remain a cohesive and indivisible entity committed to protecting their mutual interests.
We are disintegrated by virtue of perhaps associations or personal interests. It is high time we remember and we remind ourselves of what Allah says about unification, unison. Allah says that I will stand firm and hold the rope of Allah in unison.
The lecture is all about to teach us how we are going to have gain in this Ramadan, to have some things that you need to do during this fasting Ramadan to have reward from Almighty Allah.
The essence of this program is that we came here to receive lecture and to give us the lecture about this month of Ramadan, to know the purpose of this month, to know the achievements that is in this month, to know the rewards that is in this month.
Furthermore, the lecturer stressed that this unity of purpose is crucial in deriving collective progress and overcoming challenges. In addition, the group urged the government to implement impactful policies that will improve the fortunes of Nigerians, fostering a more equitable and prosperous society for all. By promoting unity and collective action, the organization aims to inspire positive change. Aisha Bashir, NTA News.
We sincerely apologize for that slight mix-up. Leaders have again demonstrated that the path to peace, tolerance, and unity in the country is by strengthening bond of understanding the diversity of religion and tolerate one another, and not to explore fault lines of differences. This is the position of Christian and Islamic clerics during an interfaith Ramadan iftar at the Halabibi.
The spiritual coincidence of having the Muslim and Christian faithful observing the fasting of Ramadan and Lenten season the same time, faith leaders say, is a blessing that should be utilized for asking God for individual and national prosperity. On the invitation of the Al-Habibi Islamic Society, are demonstrating a shared moment of togetherness and good neighborliness preached by both Christianity and Islam.
Unity of the messengers. And that's why we brought the Christian and the Muslim. We came together. Let's eat together. Perhaps what the challenges among us, we settle it on the dining table. And that is the essence of today's iftar. To discuss among ourselves what are the things that bind us together and how do we understand the things that does not unite us.
So that we can all see each other as one. So this thing is nothing new, but it's just something that is important and paramount for us to come together and share that love.
An important occasion that reminds me the need for us to always realize that we are all human beings. That let Nigerians know that someone loves them, someone cares for them, someone thinks of their well-being.
The occasion was used to remind followers that there is more to gain together in a country that God has blessed with so much diversities, a strength for building a prosperous nation, and not otherwise as exploited by purveyors of division.
Christians and Muslims, God has called us to work together. And this working together is called dialogue of social engagement.
This also become a very big example for us to show to all, to our people all over the nation. If we can eat together and stay together and share together, that's how it should be.
The life that Prophet of Islam lives is what is expected of every Islamic monotheist to emulate.
In fact, the description of those who are high class of learned among the Christians is that they are humble.
We thank you, Almighty God, for bringing us together, and we ask you to bless each and every one of us.
So it is good that we are uniting, and may God continue to unite us in this country.
The Al-Habibiyya interfaith engagement created more trust and understanding to coexist in one nation bound in peace and unity. In Abuja, Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
Still talking Ramadan, the practical steps for strengthening the heart was the focus of today's Sahur Live program on NTA, featuring Professor Abdelwasi Gabadin. Ramatu Abdullahi brings us excerpts from the program, which was filled with engaging segments.
The program opened, as usual, with a recitation from the glorious Quran by Aisha Abubakar Sadiq.
وَإِذَا أُلْقُوا مِنْهَا مَكَانًا ضَيِّقًا مُقَرَّنِينَ دَعَوْا هُنَالِكَ ثُبُورًا.
Scholars in the studio shed light on the messages from the verses that were recited.
And that message is for you to live a life of peace in this world and more in the hereafter. So people should have the culture, no matter how aged you are, you can learn the Quran. The companions learned the Quran at the age of 40, 50.
The Prophet said in one of his hadiths that all the Muslims will enter paradise, only those who said they don't want. And those who said they don't want are people who refuses to listen or to follow the injunction of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as given to him by Almighty Allah.
Professor Abdulwasi Gabadin, who spoke on strengthening the heart, emphasized that Muslims should guard against heart diseases such as malice, envy, backbiting, and lying. He noted that no doctor can cure these ailments. Instead, they can only be addressed by consciously strengthening the heart through practical steps. These steps, he noted, include daily recitation of the Quran, remembrance of Allah, and observing prayer at the proper times, among others.
Because once you have good relationship with Allah, you have the opportunity of istijabat dua. That is, Allah will accept your dua. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all our dua in this blessed month of Ramadan.
Other segments of the program featured contributions from scholars in the studio. Ramatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
We'll go on a short break now. The news continues shortly.
I am Oluremi Tinubu, the global and national Stop TB champion. Many people have asked why I've chosen to champion the fight against a disease like tuberculosis. My reason stems from a deep personal experience. I once had a friend who unfortunately fell ill and concealed the nature of his sickness until it was too late. Eventually, after he passed, we discovered he had tuberculosis. Sadly, due to the stigma and discrimination surrounding the disease, he would not speak up or seek for help. His death was a painful reminder that we could have intervened and saved a life if only we had known earlier. Tuberculosis is an airborne disease that primarily affects the lungs, but can also impact other parts of the body. Being airborne means anyone, regardless of their social economic status, can contract it. In Nigeria, 1 person dies of TB-related illness every 7 minutes, amounting to 206 deaths every day. Globally, 1 person succumbs to TB every 25 seconds, which is a staggering 3,456 lives lost daily. These deaths are entirely preventable because TB is curable if detected and treated early. If you or someone you know has been coughing for 2 weeks or more, coughing up blood, experiencing night sweats, or losing weight drastically, it might be TB. Please visit the nearest government hospital or primary health care center for proper diagnosis and treatment. TB treatment is free in all government and some private health facilities. Let us also remember not to stigmatize or discriminate against TB patients or those who have been treated for TB. Individuals who have been cured of TB cannot infect others. I call on all stakeholders, especially the private sector, to join us in the fight to end TB in Nigeria. Together, we can make a difference. Remember, TB anywhere is TB everywhere. End TB by 2030. Yes, we can.
Thanks for staying tuned. The National Women's Platform on Security Sector Reform and Governance has called for an increase in the number of women occupying key positions in the security sector. Dr. Blangsad Dail, the national focal person, made the appeal during an interactive session in Abuja, emphasizing the importance of gender inclusivity in strengthening security and governance. Olaleko Gilajolo reports.
Nigeria, like many nations, has long struggled with issues related to security sector reform and governance. These challenges encompass a broad spectrum of issues, including accountability, transparency, human rights, and the effective integration of gender perspectives into security policies and practices. It is against this backdrop that the need for a more inclusive and comprehensive approach To addressing these issues that the National Women Platform on Security Sector Reform and Governance, under the guidance of Frederick Elbert Stiftung, was established in Nigeria. Speaking in a media chat in Abuja on the inclusion of women in security sector reform and governance processes to celebrate the 2025 International Women's Day, Dr. Plansa Dayil, the national focal person, say it's not only a matter of gender equality, but also a strategic imperative as women constitute a significant portion of Nigerians' population, and their perspectives, experiences, and expertise are invaluable in shaping policies and practices within the security sector.
The aim of the platform, the National Women Platform on Security Sector Reforms and Governance, aims to contribute to actions and institutions that ensure security services at local, national, and regional levels, ensuring that they are more accountable, responsive to the security needs of women. The mission of the platforms is to ensure that we are dedicated to amplifying the voices and perspectives of women.
As Nigeria continues to navigate security challenges, the focus of this platform on gender equality and security sector reform will contribute to building a safer and more equitable nation for all its citizens.
Meanwhile, celebrating a significant milestone and being alive to witness and recount the years spent so far were some of the words of gratitude of Chief Femi Melefa. Cecilia Julius reports that the distinguished septuagenarian also marked his new phase at 70 with the launch of his book titled Memories and Imprints.
In a joyful atmosphere filled with smiles, dignitaries, family, friends, and well-wishers gathered to honor an icon and a true son of the Bunu Kingdom as he celebrated 70 incredible years. With enthusiasm, they shared stories of his remarkable experiences and wished him many more years of happiness.
The celebrant is a communicator, an educator, a committed.
Heartfelt messages and prayers from family, friends, and associates showcase his endearing personality, revealing why he is so beloved.
I would wish that he worked more closely with God.
A very admirable one to have, and a very admirable one to have. And I am so proud to call him my father. I am so proud to call him my father.
Honestly speaking, I feel as if I'm still 50. So of course, it's true. When you are 70, the system begin to break down. That's what we are told.
The launch of the 451-page autobiographical book, Memories and Imprints, provided a fascinating roadmap of the author's life, past, and future. This inspiring book aims to motivate readers to strive for greater heights.
Something has come out of his life by reason of hard work, discipline, and of course, the mercy of God that he has enjoyed all through life.
As Chief Femi marked the beginning of his new phase at 70, he beamed with smiles and laughter. Surrounded by loving family, the celebration was sealed with the cutting of the cake, filling everyone with hope for a bright and successful future.
It's time for Sports Brief.
And Nigeria and Zimbabwe, Super Eagles camp in Kigali opens with Galatasaray hitman Victor Osimhen and Bruno Onyemachi among the first to hit camp, preparatory to the all-important clash, hope of qualifying alive. Still on football, Nasarawa United picked a vital away point in Kano against Kano Pillars in the matchday 29 encounter of the Nigerian relegation pain continues after losing 1-0 to Bayelsa United. Fourth place Ikorodu City settled for a 2-2 draw with AIM in Maiduguri lost at home to visiting Rivers United.
Newcastle United's day for 2025. He's going to share the duties with Kieran Trippier. Newcastle United.
Elsewhere, Newcastle United are the English Football League Cup champions after a superlative performance against Liverpool that produced a 2-1 result In the final on Sunday, the Magpies, who last won a major trophy in 1969, are still basking in the euphoria of the historic feat that will now earn them a place in the Europa Conference League next season. With Sports Brief, Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
That has been the news at 1. Do join us again at 7 for more news. I am Aisha Oba Ali. Good afternoon.